Born in 1925 Iran, Mom had been forced to live as an underground Jew in the fanatically religious city of Mashhad, a Shiite stronghold and pilgrimage site with a long history of maiming and massacring infidels. Head bent, breathing through a black chador, peering through an eye slit, she slunk through alleyways, faceless and shapeless, passing as Muslim. The chador was more to her than just a cloth covering. It was the symbol of her suppression and target of her rage. Years later, Mom told me about one sun-scalding summer afternoon when she and her stepmother, Yocheved, were hauling sacks of fava beans home from the market. Both were heavily shrouded, properly groomed, Islamicized for outside eyes. My mother, 14 and recently married to my 34-year-old father, was already 3 months pregnant. As her cloaked face dripped with sweat, she spat out in Farsi, "I hate chadors. I'm ripping mine off. Why are we hidden? Why can't men look at us? We're allowed to look at their hideous faces, their bare arms and legs." "Shh." Yocheved gestured for her to lower her voice. "The imams are keeping us safe. A woman's lips, hair, elbow, even her ankle can drive a man crazy. If we conceal ourselves, men can control themselves." "Kufta ballah." Mom cursed through blasts of sticky air and suffocating drapes. "I'm not responsible for their unruly penises. Men should learn to lock their crotches." While chadors were designed to hide women, hers incubated visions of a headlong and noisy break for freedom. 8 years later, urged on by an older brother who had already emigrated to the United States, she uprooted her husband and 2 young sons and spearheaded the family's fretful, lengthy, circuitous migration from Mashhad to Manhattan. On the eve of their departure, Mom lit a match and torched her black chadors, turning heavy cloths and the weight of their meaning to ash. In New York City, unveiled and thoroughly seen, she speed-sorted through Saks Fifth Avenue's dress racks, searching the very finest. She ran her fingers along crushed velvet, squeezed densely sequined organza, and fondled sumptuous chiffon, scanning for plunging necklines that screamed, "Look at me." At home, she donned bright colors, convoluted patterns, 3D textures that made me cringe as an adolescent. To this day, I can't wear fire engine red, her color of choice. At home, she'd hand-grind steaks, pickle every conceivable vegetable, tend a garden packed with plum tomatoes, Persian cucumbers, mint, and insist on ironing all bedsheets, undershirts, even cotton underpants. Between waxing floors and polishing walls, she baked, broiled, and basted. Mom scoffed at women who were slow and celebrated those who were hyperactive. My father shuddered with disapproval and deepened their divide by labeling everything she did unnecessary and excessive. Too much huff-puff, too much noise, too much upheaval. In Mashhad, Pop had also relied on duplicity to survive, kneeling and bowing in public squares, reciting the Quran and chanting namaz, while inwardly praying to Hashem, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. However, he had experienced Iran quite differently than Mom. While my mother's face was always concealed, his was always visible, easier to identify as an underground Jew. Even in the secrecy of their home, behind shuttered windows, they both lived in constant fear of being outed. Treasuring silence, happy with dry toast and tea, he implored Mom to stop the constant activity. "Your noisy hands and feet give me a migraine."